September 7th, 1876. Jesse and his 7 followers carefully prepared for their raid. No pistol or horse went unchecked. The gang had established a reputation for being nearly fanatical in the way they readied themselves for holdups. Little did anyone know that this would be the last raid for the entire gang. They donned their infamous white dusters for the holdup. By now, after so many successful bank raids, they were almost arrogant in their approach. Some 2 miles out of Northfield, they set their plan in motion. Now they were ready. Jesse had decided that they would split into 2 groups, each entering town from opposite directions. Northfield was a small community of 500 people. It was a center for agriculture, industry, and banking trade. Their target bank was in fact the point of deposit for a number of smaller area banks. While Jesse was not known to the Northfield people, the gang came under instant suspicion because of extremely fine horses they were riding and the startling appearance of their linen dusters. As the group rode in, they warily inspected the town, looking for anyone who would spell trouble. Little did they know that this raid would be the end of their long string of successful bank robberies. As always, Jesse James leaped over the counter, demanding that the money be handed over. Several of the bank employees grappled with the bandits. In the confusion, one of the tellers escaped, yelling, "Murder! Murder!" Jesse fired at the fleeing man, but missed. Had the town been warned? It seemed so. Within minutes, armed townspeople began shooting at the gang. Killed instantly were Clee Miller, Charlie Pitts, and another member of the gang, Bill Edgewood. Jim Younger and his brothers Bob and Cole Younger were wounded. Only the James boys escaped unharmed.
There were falling outs between Frank and Jesse, and as a matter of fact, after Northfield, the rift became very, very great. And at the time Jesse was killed, it's very possible that Frank and Jesse weren't even communicating with one another.
After the Northfield raid, the prices on Jesse and Frank's heads continued to grow. Bounty hunters and adventurers began tracking the brothers in order to earn the ever-increasing reward. No longer were the James boys protected by the friendship of numerous people. Bob Ford is the man most historians claim killed Jesse James. There are, however, conflicting stories about Jesse's death. Jesse was planning the robbery of the Platte City Bank with Charlie and Bob Ford. Zerelda James, Jesse's wife, was working in the kitchen while Jesse laid out his ideas for a successful raid. Uncharacteristically, Jesse took off his gun so that he could more easily straighten a picture. Charlie Ford motioned to his brother to stand. Bob, being the more accurate of the two men, stood, took careful aim, and shot Jesse in the head. Both Ford brothers claimed it was an accident. Could it be, however, part of a plot to end the pursuit of Jesse? It is known that Jesse's mother refused to identify the body. Some have said that the man shot was not Jesse James. Others have said that James lived incognito for the next 60 years under an assumed name. In 1948, a man by the name of J. Frank Dalton came forward, claiming that he was the real Jesse James. Dalton went so far as signing an affidavit to the effect that he was Jesse James. According to newspaper clippings of the time, some 25,000 people turned out for a parade in Lawton, Oklahoma, showing off Dalton as the real Jesse James.